You want to help your clients build infrastructure. That means helping them put together a great team so you all could be the quarterbacks of that team. If you assume the role as quarterback, then you're in control of all the team members, supposedly. If you're a good leader, you're in control of all the team members. And that's the best place to be. Usually the attorney is not the best quarterback because again, we're limited in terms of what we do and how we do it. We're risk managers, we're structure builders, we're risk mitigators. The financial advisor, the financial planner has a much broader spectrum. They're dealing with helping the client grow, preserving their assets, mitigating risk, all of these things. So I think you as the financial planner, the financial advisor, are in a unique role to be the head of that team. Infrastructure, choosing the right entity, getting with a good tax attorney, a good CPA who knows how to guide you down that path quickly instead of saying, well, you could just set up an LLC or you could just go online and do that yourself. Setting up accounting, tax, and marketing systems from the very get-go. Again, connecting with the right people, determining your IT needs, your information technology needs. How do you service all that? If you're a business entrepreneur and a business startup yourself, who do you go to for your IT needs? And then of course having the legal protections that you need for your business and choosing the right location if you're in that type of a situation. So your team members include attorneys, CPAs, and the financial planners, really at the outset. The attorney is a business lawyer like me, or a CPA who has a tax background, who knows the issues when you're starting up a business, and the financial planner will help you choose the right entity, will help you get it set up. But if you're going to hire employees, you've got to have somebody on your team who knows human resources. Let me give you an example. I run into these issues all the time. 60% of my practice today is business succession planning, more so than the estate planning, because there's so much need for, so many people need help in building their businesses and growing their businesses. In the human resources side, I have a client that is in the process of being sold. It's a government contractor. $29 million purchase price. 250 employees. But they did that without having a human resources person on board. Who can guess what the first problem is that we discovered in our due diligence when we were going through and trying to figure out whether or not they were ready to be sold? What's the first thing you do when you hire an employee? Background check? Okay, that's a good one. What else do you do? What do you have to do by law?
Get them to complete an I-9.
Thank you, because you're working on that transaction with me. You have to get an I-9, and the I-9 has to be completed properly and signed and dated. So in this process of figuring out our due diligence on this client, we discovered that almost half of the employees either lack I-9s or had bad I-9s. You say, well, what's the big deal? You don't have to turn that into the federal government, right? Yeah, you don't turn in the I-9s to the federal government, to the Immigration Naturalization Service. You're supposed to keep it in your files, like W-9s for withholding, right? But the penalties for non-compliance range from $216 per I-9 to $2,100 plus per I-9. So if you have 250 employees and half of them 100, and let's say there's $1,000 mid-range of the penalty range. That's a lot of money. That's $100,000. Could be $500,000. Are we going to have to escrow that? Are we going to have to reduce the purchase price? It's a simple thing that every business owner must do. Get a human resources expert on your team. It's absolutely critical. Likewise, get an insurance agent. How many of you in here sell insurance? A lot of you, okay? How many of you sell property and casualty insurance? Most of you are life insurance oriented. Get the property and casualty colleague involved with your client's business right away. What kind of insurance do they need? It depends on the industry. If they're in the software industry, errors and omissions insurance is absolutely critical. If they have employees, employee practices liability insurance is absolutely critical. And if they're an individual business owner, make sure they have umbrella insurance that's covering not only their automobile, but their other activities that umbrella insurance can cover. Life insurance, health, disability. The human resources person and the insurance person can work together to construct a benefits plan for your company as you're starting it out. And then the other people that I've always involved, when I started up my business, even before I started my business, I had my own law firm, I went to an executive coach. And I think it was the best decision I ever made, because the executive coach helped me build a business plan for my business, but also for my life. And so it integrated my personal life with my business so that I was able to try to achieve balance. With 4 kids and a wife that was at home at the time, it was difficult. It's even more difficult today now that the kids are grown up, balancing your personal life and your business life. But then holding you accountable is what executive coaches do. So if you can introduce your clients to a good executive coach who knows how to coach, that's a really valuable asset that you're bringing to the table for your clients. The banker is a critical relationship in the startup of a business. You think, oh, you know, I'm going to go and borrow against my home equity line, and that's how I'm going to fund my business. And what's the big deal? I just go to the bank and I ask for a line of credit. But it's beyond that, because you want to establish a relationship with your banker, because it establishes credit worthiness, and then you can grow your business organically using your bank. I have a really successful business in Montgomery County. They grew from 5 employees in 1997. They're now over 200 employees, and they do managed services for clients, technology managed services for clients. And they grew completely organically using their bankers, and brilliantly and slowly and organically, and now they're a big company. The other thing I was going to suggest to you is, by the way, if you come to all 6 seminars, I'll buy you this book. This book is called Built to Scale. It's written by Marissa Levin, who's a friend of mine, and she quotes me in the book, so it's a shameless plug for myself, in the section about compensating your advisors. But the book is a really good outline of how to build a board of advisors. Why do you need a board of advisors? Well, all these people that you're surrounding yourself with in your professional life and your team of professional advisors can serve as your board of advisors. You might even compensate them to serve on your board of advisors. You might compensate them with cash, you might compensate them with equity. But the idea is they can help you grow your business and keep you in the straight and narrow, stay focused, and stay and tack your business plan so that it goes in the right direction. Because they've done it before, or they've helped others do it. So having other entrepreneurs who've succeeded as part of your advisory board is a great idea. Bring these people, you know, on your team, and you can help bring them success. Choosing the right entity, well, you know, everybody talks about sole proprietorships. That's how you start out. Any business starts out technically as a sole proprietorship. That means you're on your own. But there are other choices. And personally, the other choices are my preference. I never, ever have advised a client just to stay as a sole proprietor if they're in business, even if they're by themselves. Because if you are a sole proprietor, what does that mean? It means you have unlimited liability, and your personal assets are exposed to the claims of all of your creditors. So I won't spend any more time on this, and you should advise your clients to do anything but be a sole proprietor.